Okay, welcome back everyone. So as you guys know, we have finally removed the 3SGE out of the MR2. It wasn't as hard as we thought. It was actually kind of simple, a lot easier than removing the engine out of the Camry. I reckon the hardest part of doing it was getting the car super high up to get the engine out, but we managed to do it. It's pretty easy, and thanks to Camille for helping us out. We have a whole bunch of things that we got to do today. I've written a list like I always do. It's a little bit duplicated on both sides, but we have to remove the engine mount. We've got to paint the block. I'm just going to leave it here so you guys can see what we need to do. But I've already gone ahead and bought some Loctite because today we're going to be trying to mount the flywheel to the transmission. So hopefully we'll be able to do that successfully with the help of Lachlan, because my butler is here, of course. Can't do any work without my butler. I'm going to say this. Hang on, wait for the car to go past. No. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret of ours. So let's wait for the Australian birds to shut up. Lachlan and I are doing something pretty crazy that you guys don't want to miss out on. I'm gonna be showing this all off live. Well, not live, just I'm gonna be showing it on my Instagram story, so make sure you follow my Instagram. It's happening this Saturday, so you'll see it on Friday, me telling you this. So you'll only have one day to follow the Instagram, so make sure you do. But we're going to be doing something pretty crazy, so make sure you stay tuned. Also on the list, you saw that we needed to machine the flywheel, which we've gone ahead and done. I got that done yesterday. The surface is looking really nice and flat. You can see that the machine has gone ahead and done its work, and we'll be able to install the clutch today. And hopefully we can get this engine in the car within the next couple weeks. I reckon as soon as the harness comes on that week, we'll get the engine in. Butler, I need you to do some work for me.
Begrudgingly? Not even a word.
Decided to scrap the idea of painting the engine block and go ahead and start cleaning this transmission straight away. So Lachlan's going to remove this engine mount and clean all around the transmission because we want it looking good when we put the engine in the car. So we don't want any sort of like grease when we touch the transmission because that's not ideal. I've gone ahead and cleaned the engine bay, and it's looking a lot better than what it was looking like before. I used some degreaser, then went ahead and used soap and water to go all around this edge over here. You're not really going to see it much, but it's just peace of mind. Lachlan's cleaning the transmission. He's done a pretty good job, just cleaning the splines really well, so we don't have any sort of grit on there. Oh, and we also found some interesting stuff with the MR2. So in its previous life, the car has had an alarm system, because down here, this thing right there, I didn't even notice the whole time that I have had this car. That's a speaker slash alarm bell thing, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to remove that, and I'm going to put my one there because that's actually a really good spot for it. And there's all this wiring and stuff for like the parking sensors, which don't even really work. So look at this. I have aftermarket parking sensors, which is super weird. Okay, so we've pretty much done the first step and this step. I'm just going to cross that. We're not going to paint the block, so I'm not going to worry about that. Also, I bought some Loctite for the flywheel. Remove engine from stand. We probably will do something else first. I need to also go ahead and remove the S54 transmission off this 3SGE because we need to get some of the parts off it. So it's got the clutch fork, and it's just, I'm pretty sure I could source some better parts off this transmission, because this one over here looks like it has seen better days, but apparently the synchros in here should be pretty good. So let's hope that, otherwise we're gonna have to swap it out again and get a new one. We've gone ahead and cleaned the transmission, cleaned the engine bay, and cleaned the flywheel bolts that we will be reusing, because everyone says that, you know, it's not that bad if you reuse the flywheel bolts. Just got to add that red Loctite, of course, because you don't want it coming off. Here's the transmission all clean. Now, there is one issue with this transmission that I am unsure about, but we're going to send it anyway. If it blows, it blows. But I can see a lot of like cracks and stuff. I don't know if this is like normal for an S54 to have all these like weird little cracks everywhere. I know that this came from an MR2 that had been in a wreck. From what I saw in the pictures, the engine wasn't touched at all. It was just the front of the car, so I don't understand why there would be all these cracks here. If worst comes to worst, this S54 blows and I have to go ahead and buy another one, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I might get some compensation on it, but we'll see. Anyway, we're up to the next stage of today's video. We are going to put the clutch on the car. We're going to replace this rear main seal because I have a brand new one just chilling over here. Unfortunately, Toyota doesn't actually make them anymore, so you can't actually get a genuine one. Probably if you look somewhere online you could get one, but I couldn't find one locally. Then we're going to mount the clutch, the flywheel, everything that we need, and install this transmission. Out she comes. It's gonna rest on there without breaking the, oh no, get up, up. Huge progress, guys. We've finally removed the engine from this side of the garage. We've put it over here out of the way, moved the old Camry transmission here as well. This engine is for sale as well. If you want to contact me, I'm selling this. Just message me on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I'm not going to be selling it with the wiring harness. You're going to have to buy just the engine and everything that's on it. For the rest of the day, we want to try get the clutch on this car. So we need to obviously remove the remain seal, like I said at the start. Get the clutch on and go from there. We're gonna take a little bit of a break because we've been doing this 4 hours straight, and have a look at this.
My car's back. My fucking car's back.
Nice.
So the issue we were running into is that because it's an old girl, it was pulling 10 degrees of timing.
My Camry's 25 years old.
Yeah, and it's probably pulling 50 degrees of timing. So 10 degrees of timing, now it's pulling 1.
So it's good to go.
Makes more torque, around the same power, because NA you can't really make any more power, but torque. It pulls all the way to red line, and rather than falling off at 4, it goes all the way to 7.
Even in the rain. Nathan, why has your car got 2 black dots in its grill? You're gonna want to put that back. Anyway, we're gonna attempt to install the brand new OEM remain seal, because you can see that this one at the bottom is quite wet, which means that it is leaking pretty bad. At the bottom of the transmission, when I took the engine out, I could see like a pool of oil. It was really wet just around here, so it's pretty obvious that this remain seal needs to be replaced. I'm pretty sure everyone does it anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be a little bit tricky doing this because we need to get some tools behind the seal, or like in the seal, to like yank it out. And the issue is, if we scratch the crankshaft in any sort of way, we might ruin the seal or how well the car seals. So we're gonna be really careful. The first thing I'm gonna try is get some picks and try to like get it in behind in the actual seal itself. It's solid metal there, so it's very hard to get anything in there. We're gonna just go ahead and clean around the area so we don't get any contaminants in the actual engine oil. So let's do that.
That's fucked.
I have a handful of little picks that Lachlan has gone ahead and bought for his BMW when we've been doing various engine modifications, because BMWs require a lot of picks. Anyway, we've got various picks, so we're just going to try and get it in there and try to wiggle the thing out. So let's do this. Oh, firstly, I got to clean it, so let's do that first. Oh my god.
So this one's going to break as well, so...
Alright, so I finally removed the remain seal. It wasn't actually that difficult to get out. I just had to get the flathead on the right angle, and I used this to pry against, not the actual crank itself, because if you do that, if you pry it against the crank like that, you're going to actually put divots in the crankshaft, which could actually cause leaks on your remain seal. So what we're going to do now is get the new remain seal and tap it in, just using, you're supposed to use something that is the same circumference of the remain seal, but I don't have anything like that, so I'm just going to use like a end of a 3/8 bit to like knock it in. You'll see what I mean. And it should go well. We're going to put some oil in the seal as well. Should be good.
Braxton, would you say that having a leaky rear is not a good thing?
That's not a good thing, Nathan. We don't want a leaky rear.
Always change your rear.
Let's go ahead and compare these two seals really quick to see if they are similar size.
One of them is Alibaba, one of them is Toyota Genuine.
If it's not the same size, then we're kind of screwed. Look at that, it's the same size. We did good, guys. Got some brand new oil over here. We're gonna stick my finger in the brand new oil and get the remain seal in. One of the cons of doing all this work yourself in your own garage and not knowing what the hell you're doing is sometimes you mess things up. And I'm going to be completely transparent with you today, and I'm going to tell you that I messed up my brand new rear main seal. I tried to put it in, and what I realized is I had it in too far on one side, and if I just leveled this side, the other side out, it would have just been sitting too far in the actual place for the seal itself. So I completely ruined this. $40 later, and I've got my new rear main seal in. It's finally going in. We just need to tap it in. Bit of an L, but it's just, I guess, a learning experience, a expensive learning experience. Luckily it wasn't too crazy. It was only $40, but you know, it could have been a lot worse. You learn from your mistakes, and that's the lesson that I want to let you guys. You learn from your mistakes, and as you can see, Nathan's parents also made a big mistake. We finally have the flywheel fully installed. Now we can install the clutch. And if you come over here and check this out, I have all my stuff all ready to go. Exceedy, of course. It's just the OEM replacements. I'm not going to get a heavy duty clutch because it can blow my transmission, as I've talked about. Got my flywheel. Here you go, Nathaniel, my other butler. Can you please place that over there? And this is my pressure plate. Oh, it's fucking heavy. I haven't opened this yet.
Do you want it in the water or next to it?
I would rather it not in the water, Nathan. Before we install the clutch, we're going to use the clutch friction plate, lubricate all the parts. So we have a throw-up bearing and we've got a lubricate around here. Then we also want to use the clutch friction plate to lube the splines. I've got some lithium-based grease, and I hope that's the right one. We're just
going to make an edit of what of the motion that Braxton just did to that. Детали степления.
Premium.
Alibaba pressure plate.
Why does it look like it's used? Fuck?
I don't know, but you know what's going to happen when you drop the clutch? That spring is going to go... Pew!
So the issue of using this clutch, which is the stock 3SGE clutch that goes in the S54 transmission, is that the diameter of this isn't actually wide enough and it doesn't put enough clamping force on this flywheel. People say that like it doesn't really matter, it's negligible, like because as you'll see like it doesn't actually cover the whole surface. You do lose a little bit of, what do you call it?
Drivability?
Yeah, you lose a bit of drivability, like it won't actually clamp on as well as a turbo one, but the thing is we don't want like a really good clutch because the S54 doesn't want a good clutch too. It will blow. If you put too much power in all at once, I'm pretty sure the S54 will blow, and it's, I've heard that from a number of people, and that's why I have decided to go with this. People do custom ones and they get turbo ones with the 21 splines. I think this has, or 20 splines, but this is just going to be better for me. Maybe in the future I will upgrade. So I've finally gone ahead and installed the clutch, the cover, and the flywheel, so everything is good and ready to go for the transmission to be mounted onto the engine. However, I'm just a little bit iffy on how I installed the clutch. So I had this alignment tool over here and I was a little bit wobbly in there, so I tried to get it in the middle as much as I could and tighten the bolts down, and I don't know 100% if it's fully aligned. Like it looks aligned from what I can see with my eyes, but I'm just really hoping that I can get this transmission on easily because it's a hassle. I've done a lot of things today as well, so I'm going to tick off my checklists. So remove the engine from the stand, clean flywheel bolts, bolt and flywheel, attach clutch. A couple more things that we've got to do. We've done a lot today. I've been out here all day. Lucky it's daylight savings now, so we still have daylight, and it's like 7 o'clock. But we will continue this tomorrow. I'm going to do a little jump and enter the next little video. And we're back, so we're going to pick up from where we left yesterday and try to install the transmission on the car today. Like I said, we still need to get the clutch fork off the old transmission, which was in the 3SGE, well, on the 3SGE engine. S54 transmission, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, we need to take the clutch fork off this, lubricate it, get the throw-out bearing on it, and then chuck it in the transmission. So let's do that. This is all new to me, and this is the first time I've done all this, and you learn as you go. And apparently this thing has to go on before you put the flywheel on. So yes, Nathan and I talked all this shit down, put Loctite on everything, cleaned everything up. Now we're gonna take it all off again and install this fucking shield. This is the final ingredient to the engine swap, by the way. You guys excited? Got Maxi Boy here as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Corolla Boy. I've installed the clutch and everything, flywheel, clutch plate, clutch disc. Anyway, we're going to attempt to install the transmission now. Luckily, I have 3 boys here.
Be careful.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the engine up a little bit, get the wood block
Yeah,
underneath,
just,
and then line it up.
Nathan might have to like position the motor right block.
No, don't.
Well, whereabouts is this place up to? Not the engine, idiot.
We need to push.
No, it's way too high.
Take it, move it off. Alright guys, we finally have the transmission connected to the engine. We're going to have to use a mix and match of bolts from the 3BZ FE transmission and the 3SGE transmission. I've just got bolts everywhere. I'm not too sure where they all go, but we'll figure it out. But we're going to end today's video here. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Maxi Boy and Nathan for getting this transmission on. It's been a good learning experience doing this all. I'm ready to go eat.
And quit YouTube.
And quit YouTube? Should I do that?
Yeah. See you guys.
See you guys.
Building the car, just and then I post an ad scrapping MR2.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Goodbye.